Guys, Rachel Young here with The Peak Show, and it's raining. I'm sitting on my grandmother's porch and I'm just kind of enjoying watching the rain come down. But I wanted to talk to you today about my weight. I don't know any woman that you know of that would be willing to get on camera and talk about her weight, but here's the thing. A couple of days ago I gained 2 pounds, and there's a few things that I could have done about it. Number one, I could have sat on my ass, gotten a pint of ice cream, and drowned my sorrows. Number two, I could have fretted and panicked and oh my God, what happened, and really lost focus on what I'm trying to do. Or number three, I could have gone to the gym and worked my ass off. And I did number three. I went to the gym and I worked my ass off. Not because that was going to get the weight off, but because that's what I needed to get the stress out of me so I could go back and figure out what happened. So I went back and looked at my food journals to see what I had been eating and what changed over the past few days so that I could make the adjustments necessary to get the weight off. And this shows several things that pertains to you in business. Number one, when I realized that something was going wrong, I did not sit on my ass. I actually did something about it. I didn't sit there and moan and whine and complain. I went and I worked out. I worked my ass off at the gym just to get the stress out so that I could clear my head. And this rain is competing with me trying to talk today. Number two, I went back to my food journal. Had I not written down what all I had put in my mouth, I wouldn't be able to go back and look and see, okay, here's what changed, here's what I need to fix. It turned out that I had been having a Kayasan shake with non-fat milk and some peanut butter before bed, and if that works if you're putting on weight, but for me trying to slim down, that's not what I do. So I was able to go back and look at, I had chronicled what I had done. In business, those are called standard operating procedures, SOPs, where anybody that comes in, you can give them a list of what you do in a day, and it gives them step-by-step details on how to get it done. So I was able to go back and look at my food journals and say, okay, here's where the problem is, here's what had changed, this is what I need to fix. And then, what did I do? I fixed it. I didn't sit there and analyze, I didn't run a bunch of numbers. I just said, you know what? Here's where the problem is. This is what's different. Sorry, thunder. This is what's different from what I'd been doing before. And by just doing those few things, number one, taking action when you see that there's a problem. Number two, being able to journal and go back and look and see what you've been doing differently. And then number three, just change it. Don't sit there and bitch and moan and complain. Don't sit there on your ass and wonder, oh, well, what can I do next week and what can I do tomorrow? No, do it now. Go back, take action, go back and look at what you did differently because you've got stuff actually written down, and then make those necessary changes. And I thought that was so important for you guys to know, because so many business owners nowadays, they say, oh, well, I sent out some direct mail and it didn't work, so therefore direct mail doesn't work. It's not, okay, this is the list that I sent it to in these particular zip codes for this particular income in this particular situation. Here's the letter that I sent out. This is the same letter that I sent out to this other list. Maybe I should change the headline. It's making these small tweaks and changes, but it was, being able to look at what you've done and being able to look at what you want to do and making sure that that's cohesive. And I just feel like a lot of folks nowadays are blanketing. They send out an email. Oh, well, the email didn't work. Or they send out direct mail. Oh, direct mail didn't work. Or they put an ad in the paper. Oh, newspaper ads don't work. Instead of making those blanket generalities, to go back and say, okay, it didn't work this time, why? If I change just this thing, what happens? If I change just this, what happens? if I just change the headline, if I just change my price point, if I just change a few keywords and say investment instead of payment, you know, if I say documents instead of paperwork, you know, things like that. If I just change a few words, what happens? If I just change the color of my envelope, things like that, that you can go back and look and say, this is the proper way to run a business. This is the thing that I need to do in order to be able to track my results, and then just do it. You don't need to consult a committee. You don't need to sit there and say, okay, well, I've got to ask my business partner, and then he's going to ask his wife, and then his wife is going to go and ask our sales coordinator, and then the sales coordinator's got to talk to his girlfriend, and then, you know, it doesn't need to be a committee thing. If you see that something is wrong, it's got to be fixed right away, or it's going to continue to be wrong, and it's going to continue to cost you money. And that's the bottom line. You know, being able, when you see something has changed, being able to immediately say, this is wrong, I'm going to go back and change it, now it's not costing me money anymore. If you want to see more ideas on how to make money in business, small business, large business, all points in between, if you want the best marketing ideas on the planet and some interviews with some absolutely fantastic entrepreneurs on how to make more money, you can log on to BigChiefMarketing.com and click join the membership site button at the top. Until then, you guys know you can always email me at ryoung@BigChiefMarketing.com. I'm always listening, and I look forward to hearing of your successes.